They overstart a lot.
That's right. He really does owe that shark quite a lot. In fact, Jaws was never supposed to come out as a summer movie. It was only because that animatronic sank on the first day of filming that production was halted, and Jaws ended up coming out in the summer of 1975, which of course ended up being a huge success because Jaws is actually regarded as the first ever summer blockbuster to happen, of course, in 1975. Now, like I said, in that little Jaws area, we were in what we call Amity Island, but we filmed quite a few things in our Amity Island area. In fact, you actually might recognize it as Cabot Cove from the Angela Lansbury television show, Murder, She Wrote. Take a look. Quite the different vibe there from Jaws. But as we turn the corner on your left-hand side, we have our Elm Street, and that first green-roofed house was actually Boo Radley's house from the movie To Kill a Mockingbird, but we're currently using that street as Paxton Yoshida Hall's neighborhood in Never Have I Ever. And on your right-hand side there, we have the fabulous Chicken Ranch, which is where Dolly Parton herself could be seen in the movie The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. But that's also where we filmed the LMFAO music video, Sorry for Party Rockin'. And if we have any fans of horror movies on the tram, that's also Rob Zombie's House of 1,000 Corpses. And this area on your left-hand side is what we call Colonial Street. You can actually see some of our colonial-style houses as we drive by. Now, many people recognize that area as Wisteria Lane from its 8-season run on ABC's Desperate Housewives, but our Colonial Street is currently closed because they just finished filming in there for Never Have I Ever. That's actually Davy's neighborhood in that show, and they're currently using it to prep for the Ted prequel that's going to be on Peacock. And very quickly, everyone, I have one final safety reminder. So just remain seated on the tram. We have about 15 minutes till we'll be returning to our theme park. So just one last reminder, if you have an emergency, to reach up and pull the red cord that runs along the center of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Now, it may not look like it, but I promise we are still in our movie studio. In fact, we're actually on Wilderness Road at the moment, which is the perfect location when you want for things to look remote and out of the way, which is why they used this area for Netflix's movie Bird Box starring Sandra Bullock, and it was also used for an episode of Fox's 911 with Angela Bassett. In fact, this was actually the street of an overturned limousine crash in an episode for that television show. And speaking of limousines, coming up here on your right-hand side, we're going to have a few more of our fabulous picture cars. And if we have any fans of Fast and Furious on board of the tram, you guys might recognize a few of them, such as Dominic Toretto's black Dodge Charger there. And of course, we have our fabulous Mystery Machine. And in the back there is Bumblebee from Transformers, and a lot of the cars in that front row were actually used in our Fast and Furious movies. That's right, many of those were used in the Fast movies, but just as Marion Crane herself turned off the main highway, it would appear that so have we to find an old, out-of-the-way motel. You know, I heard that this place had 12 rooms and 12 vacancies, but the Yelp reviews are not very good for this place. But don't worry, everybody, welcome to the Bates Motel, and as you can see in the background there, the famous Mother's House as well.